This is a project that John came in with. John and his producers came in with. He happens to have a great deal of skill at doing man on the street segments, and you know, when you watch his concerts, he has he converses, he dialogues with the audience, and you know, he talks to them and he tells little anecdotes, but he came in with his own idea. He is really smart. He's really educated about sort of the history of variety, what he likes, what he doesn't like, what works, what doesn't work, but he also knows who he is. So he's got this great man on the street quality, so there'll be some man on the street segments. We're developing it now. We're just close to closing all the deals, but we closed our comedy show running deal. Ken Ehrlich is producing with John. So it's just, you know, in context of a lot of other different things we're trying, and in terms of pilots, you know, it's just one of them. In this regard, John is, as I said, he's got his own brand. He knows who he is, and the development of the show is different from variety that we've seen in the past. But you know, again, like I said, it's just something we're trying. Whether it works or not, who knows? But it's an opportunity for us to experiment and try something different. I don't think you can point to one thing in particular and say this is the reason why. I think it is a combination of factors. I think one, sort of post-strike, being the first network back up with original programming was really key. I think audiences were at a point at that time where they were exhausted. They couldn't look at another repeat. In the summer, by bringing back scripted programming, doing Flashpoint, even Swingtown, even, you know, where we were able to build on that momentum. But I also think having a full-fledged pilot season last year, being able to offer up, you know, new original shows for fall, being able to marshal a full promotional and marketing plan for each one of those new shows, how the press qualifies success is still, you know, and the buzz factor, and I think that our numbers dictate that Monday night is successful, and even where Wednesday night is, we're pleased with where our numbers are, and we're looking to continue to support that second night of comedy. You know, I think we're constantly trying new ways of taking a look at Monday night and promoting the block. I mean, if you looked at the promotion we did for Mall Cop for Kevin James, that was branding the night, letting him promote the night, and certainly I think that's a win-win situation. Look, I'm not to say that there's not competition in the landscape, on the landscape right now, but I think that we've always been look to ourselves to compete with ourselves, to improve in a time period, to build on from a lead-in. I mean, that's always been our focus, and I think that's part of the reason why we're not busy looking around what everybody else is doing. We're looking to ourselves. I'm sad in a bigger cultural way. I'm sad in that, you know, the life's blood of this business comes from the hard work and the creative imaginations of writers and producers and storytellers. My reaction is more out of sadness, and that, you know, that I look to, you know, the hundreds of people and writers and actors that are, you know, going to be out of work. What you're going to see is I think a much more diverse slate of program ideas. I think Jen Bresnan, who's the head of Alternative now for us, has a great deal of enthusiasm and interest in developing like I said, a pretty diverse slate of programs, things that have a strong narrative, things that are docu-narrative, things that have a higher sort of action-adventure quotient to them, shows that are somewhat out of the box, some that are more traditional CBS, but we are experimenting with a lot of different forms. Actually, I had my first class last Sunday, and I started with what had happened is I started learning some more. Obviously some more Hebrew, but my teacher who I'm working with asked me to sort of one Friday a month chant a couple of prayers as sort of an intro cantor program, but I needed to get a little bit more Hebrew education under my belt before I actually went into the program, so I started that last Sunday, and then my rabbi that teaches me asked me to sing at like one Friday service a month, so that probably won't start for about 3 to 6 months.